mellow, cooling summer breeze coming whistling.
Today we are making deviled eggs. And what you need for deviled eggs, let me grab this, is mayo, dill, fresh, just get it at the store, a jar of pickles, I recommended that it's dill as well, seasoned rice vinegar, as well as distilled white vinegar. And along with that, around the seasoning area, we're going to go salt, ground mustard, and a tiny bit of Worcestershire sauce. And you also need about a dozen eggs or so. So you're going to want to take your now hard-boiled eggs and transfer them with a spoon or a ladle one by one to your water that you had before, and you should just put ice in there because we're going to ice bathe these so they're easier to crack. Make sure to inspect them for cracks as you're putting them in. You just need to put them in there one by one and then let each cool for about 5 minutes before we can start actually peeling them. Now that we've done that, we're going to take our dill, and while those cool, we're going to take about 2 to 3 sprigs of this dill. You're going to want to cut the stalk of the dill because we only want the small leaves that come with the sprig. Get just the sprigs. I will take my dill and hold it in my hands and put my hand at the top of the dill and run it down in a grabbing formation. It'll pull off the leaves as you go down. Now that we have our dill, you're going to want to slice it a couple times before you mince it. The dill has a high moisture content, which is going to make it formidably difficult to mince. Once you have decided to begin to mince, you're going to want to take your knife and rock it high and strike down fast. This is going to provide the quickest mince possible. To peel your egg, you're going to take a normal spoon and then use the back of it to lightly crack around the entirety of the egg. Taps can vary from strong to hard, but you definitely don't want to get too deep with your strikes. You just want to give it a spiderweb pattern around the edge. Once you've done that, you want to take the egg in both of your hands and roll it while using your hands to pinch it towards the top. This will make it easier to crack and peel as you go along. Be careful not to harm the egg in this process, or you will have to discard it. You want to take your egg and make sure to get off all the eggshell crackings that were left on it. You can wipe it off with a paper towel or keep a bowl that you would ice bathe them in nearby so you can quickly rinse it off. Then you want to grab your knife and slice right through the middle of the egg. It's going to be super easy. They're very soft. Once you got through the egg, you can see that we have hard boiled it enough so that our yolks are fully hard boiled as well. You then want to put your fingers on both ends of the egg and slightly pop out that middle yellow piece and put it in a nearby bowl with nothing else. Then take your newly hollowed egg sides and plate them. They will be filled with our filling later. And with all your egg yolks in a bowl, you want to take a potato masher and begin to mash it. You don't want them fully mashed, you just want to press through until it becomes crumbly. It'll be very hard to fully mash them, so you will want them to be crumbly. Just give it a good 1 to 2 minutes of pressing down and moving it around. Now we want to add our ingredients. We're going to start off with 2/3 a cup of mayo. And right after that, add your freshly minced dill, and then quickly grab your tablespoon measuring cups because you are going to soon be adding 1 tablespoon of ground mustard. Now you're going to want to add 1 teaspoon each of white distilled vinegar as well as seasoned rice vinegar. Next, you're going to add the smallest amount of Worcestershire sauce you can. It has to be literally just a drop, a tiny amount. And then you're going to add 1/4 cup of pickle juice. I was planning on just pouring it in, but I realized I had 1/4 cup nearby, and I thought it would be better just measure it out. It wasn't. It's very hard to measure it out. I poured it all over my floor, and eventually I just had to deal with about 1/2 of a cup. But it doesn't make too much. It's just about a consistency. And you're going to want to use your potato masher that we used earlier to combine all those ingredients. The same motion as crushing it before. You just want to mash it up and try to get all the liquid ingredients moved around and start to scrape off the sides as you go through. It'll come to a liquid, sort of a creamy consistency as you continue. Just spoon them out as well, but I usually use a pastry bag with a star-tipped nozzle and go from the bottom and then just fill it up. It'll make them look better and make them more presentable for sure. Then, once you've done that, filled all of them, you want to take some paprika and cup your hand and pour it in because we're going to be sprinkling this over. It will be a good amount on each egg, but you want to make sure that you don't pile it on. It's for garnish as well as flavor. Also, might want to top with some homemade garlic aioli. I haven't made a video on me making this sauce yet, but it is also mayo based, and it's very good. And yeah, that's your eggs.